Hey everyone, it's Armor Gaming. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to Monster Legends. In this video, I am going to be talking about the changes to the Infinite Gauntlet. How do I feel about this whole ordeal? So this is going to be spaced out in several days because I want to give my thoughts on day 1, on day 2, on day 3, because I'm the kind of person that doesn't like to emotionally react to something as soon as it happens. I always have this thought in my mind that the initial emotional reaction you feel to something isn't necessarily the most accurate, so I like things to kind of simmer down. I kind of play things out and see how everything develops. You know, every time there's a change, usually changes tend to be bad. People just don't naturally like changes, so usually whenever there's a change, it's negative. And the Infinite Gauntlet, I mean, the fact that I lost on node 41, I think in my video, and didn't make it past node 41, I honestly feel really bad about that. Because I could have probably done a throwaway team, drained stamina, and then gone in with my main team, and I could have probably progressed a little further. So here's my initial thoughts to the Infinite Gauntlet. It is insanely difficult. It is way more difficult than the previous Infinite Gauntlet. With the previous Infinite Gauntlet, I could easily, in like 8 to 10 minutes, get to like node 53 or like 52, and easily accumulate 300 Stardust. It was so easy. I used the same team. I used Tabora, I used Lindworm, I used Bombeta. It was just the combo you saw in the video. It was trade disable, turn them into a baby, Jazz Stars, Mask kicks in, and a bunch of dots, and it was easy win. I know players were using Kodama a lot. There was just so many easy ways that you could easily beat the Infinite Gauntlet if you invested time into it and figured out when to meet shield and do all that stuff. So, with that being said, it kind of made sense that SocialPoint would have to make it harder, right? Especially getting more Megaton monster in the game. We're recently going to get Cryo Crawler, so he's going to make things a little easier. With that being said, the way I see the Infinite Gauntlet, by the way, I'm biased because I am someone who never ever liked the Infinite Gauntlet. Well, let me rephrase that. I love the rewards of the Infinite Gauntlet. Who wouldn't love free Stardust? Literally, you can get a rank 1 Cosmic every single day, right? You're getting like 300 Stardust. You need 200 Stardust to rank a Cosmic to rank 1. You need like, what, 500 to get him to rank 2? So it was so easy to rank up Cosmics thanks to the Infinite Gauntlet. But that being said, it was boring to me. The reason it was boring to me is because once you developed an easy team to win with, you pretty much could rush through it. And now I know that not everyone has access to all the monsters, especially players that didn't have Tabora. You know, Tabora was the main Infinite Gauntlet monster. I understand that you don't have the same experience, but for a long-term player like myself, an event like this where it's just like, okay, it's the same team, it's a grindy event. I am not a fan of grindy events. Like, if we take a look at this new PvP format, the PvP format is just, it's a grindy event. So even if you take a look at my challenge, my multiplayer challenge, I almost never get this like extra tier 5 egg because I don't care for PvP. I don't like the grindiness of it. I don't like the same mundane activity. So I don't care for PvP. My favorite thing, and I've said this for the longest time, is Team Wars. Team Wars are so awesome because I'm not someone who spends heavily in the game on runes and getting level 10s and ranking up all my monsters. So a lot of times, because I'm in a top 25 team, we're taking on the top teams, and they always outspeed me. They have better monsters, better runes, the paywall monsters, the $50 monsters. So it's like I gotta figure out a strategy to beat them. And because there's different war restrictions, it's always different. So I love Team Wars, but something like a dungeon to me has never been interesting. So if you notice my video, my YouTube channel, I never posted videos on the Infinite Gauntlet. I just found it very boring. So with that being said, here's what I'm thinking right now. The Infinite Gauntlets, this new update, for 99% of players, it really sucks, right? It's way too hard. You're gonna go from getting 300 Stardust plus to getting like maybe 60 Stardust, 90 Stardust, and you're gonna have to develop a team to beat the nodes and everything, and it's gonna be super annoying and it sucks, right? You're someone that just wants to rank up your Cosmics, you want to easily grind through this, and now you went from beating it to like getting to node 40, 42, maybe 48, like the later nodes. It's gonna suck, right? No ands, ifs, or buts. It's gonna suck. The 1%, maybe the 2% of players that like a challenge and it's like, ooh, let me figure out how to beat this, you're gonna love it. So it's a small minority that's gonna love it because they've wanted a challenge. It's kind of like, have you ever played a video game where, you know, you beat it through the first time and then you're able to replay the game and you have all of your power-ups, everything you collected, and you're kind of like on God mode, and then you destroy everything and it's super easily? To me, that's no fun. To me, having an account with everything fully maxed out, level 10 runes, super mutant runes, you know, you always have the advantage. To me, that's no fun. So it's funny because normally I feel like I would like something like the Infinite Gauntlet, but for whatever reason, I'm just not a fan of it. Maybe because it's just a gauntlet. I don't know, something about it. It's just like, I don't want to do this mundane, grindy task. And you can kind of argue that Team Wars is somewhat the same because we're fighting the AI and everything, but I don't know, I just like how Team Wars is I don't know, it's a whole team collaborative thing and you're fighting another team, actual players, whereas this is just like AI computer, like it's a dungeon, it's every single day, it's boring. Eventually I think players will figure out a team to use, because if the same monsters repeat every other week or whatever, I think it'll be easier, but it's definitely, for the majority of 99% of players, this is gonna suck. So this is my initial day one reaction. I think it'll probably stay the same. I think the majority, overwhelming consensus is that this sucks, right? And again, there's gonna be like 1 or 2 players out there, or 1 or 2% that are like, no, this is awesome, it's all about the challenge, we got to beat this new Infinite Gauntlet. And the player that actually does beat it, you know, they get bragging rights, they actually beat it, it was competitive. But I think it's definitely going to take a lot of time and effort. So again, I'm kind of biased against Infinite Gauntlet. I'm not on that bandwagon, so I think I'm with the 99% of players right now. I wish it was easier. I want my easy Stardust, but I also see the other side of like, hey, at least it's actually hard now. If you wanted a challenge in the game, here's your challenge. And you know what I noticed? Watch. I feel super bad about throwing away my monster in Node 41, because looking at these, 30k speed, I can easily use Bomb Beta again, and Bomb Beta could absorb the attack, and then my 2 monsters would be able to dominate, because they're slow again. When I saw Node 41 and everyone had like 26k speed, I'm like, oh my gosh, all the other nodes are going to be like this? But Node 42 wasn't that bad. Node 43 is exactly the same. So now I'm actually kind of motivated. On day 2, I'm not going to do a throwaway team if Node 41 is hard. I'm going to beat that node, and then I'm going to progress throughout. Like, I could honestly use Bomb Beta, Ferris, and Steam Wrath on this and easily dominate. Like, it'll take long, but I could do it. So I might do that tomorrow. So I will say, after day 1, I'm feeling more motivated to try out day number 2 and actually compete and see how far I can get. So maybe for this first week, I'm going to be hyped about it. But again, I think overwhelmingly, I'm going to be like, I don't want to start. Like, honestly, unless I'm doing a YouTube video, I minimize my time playing Monster Legends. It is too time consuming if you are on the game 24/7 trying to get this, trying to get that. So I think overwhelmingly I'm not gonna like it, but we'll just kind of see how things play out. I'm gonna make it like a 5-day reaction video, and I'll give you guys my thoughts at the end of the day. But yeah, I think I want to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about these changes to the Infinite Gauntlet? Alright everyone, so it is day 2. I've had some time to think more about the Infinite Gauntlet. I got a chance to read through all the comments that everyone posted in the previous video. So let me go ahead and go to the Infinite Gauntlet. I also went ahead and played for a bit. So I'm currently at 83% completion. And let me tell you kind of my thoughts on it. So as soon as I posted the video, I felt really bad losing a Node 41, because I honestly thought that all the monsters after Node 41 were going to be faster than Node 41. Like, Node 41 had everyone at like 26k plus speed. Turns out, after that, it just went back to like regular nodes, to where the first monster in the middle is fast and the other monsters are slow. So it's like, hey, if I had a Megaton monster, I'd be able to easily beat through it. So I ended up gemming my Bomb Beta, and I used Bomb Beta to progress to the Infinite Gauntlet, and then I also did some throwaway teams. So probably like after, I would say like an hour to 90 minutes of work, I was able to progress all the way through Node 47. But I did exhaust literally my whole monster roster. It wasn't really everyone, but towards the end, I just threw everyone to see what would happen. And again, because it's like, you have to be familiar with baiting and how to bait, so I literally exhausted all of my monsters to be able to get this far. I think on day 2, I'm going to be able to get relatively far without exhausting so many monsters. I'm thinking I can probably go through like 9 core monsters, and I'll be able to go pretty far. So what I'm seeing is that in this new Gauntlet, I was able to go through 47, so that's 7 times 3, that's still 200 Stardust, which is pretty easy, but again, I wasted a lot of time, whereas I used to do this within like 8 minutes. So definitely not liking that. For a minute, I was thinking maybe I'll just drop to, I think it's this range right here, from 20 to 29, and you can get like 60, 70 Stardust, some good amount, or maybe even doing the 30 to 35, I think that's 60 Stardust. So I was thinking like, what's an easier thing to do? But I think we're going to see how day 2 turns out. It's definitely a lot harder. Like, there's no ands, ifs, or buts. It's a lot harder. And you can honestly argue whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Because I think you can make the argument that Infinite Gauntlet was honestly kind of easy to begin with. Like, it was too generous, you know? SocialPoint has a tendency to do that. If you look at the first time we had the PvP eggs, they were overwhelmingly generous. If we look at the first time we did team races, guys, we used to, I don't know, for long-term players, it used to be like 13 laps, and you would get a rank 3 monster back when ranking was really hard. So the Infinite Gauntlet, again, like 200 plus Stardust a day, 300 plus Stardust. Some players completed it every single day, getting like 400 Stardust. It's ridiculous. So again, this goes back to the point I was making yesterday, where I think there's 2 types of players. There's the players that just want to grind through this as fast as possible and accumulate as much Stardust as possible. That's kind of where I'm in, where it's like, for whatever reason, I don't like the Infinite Gauntlet. I think it's just the fact that it is just this monotonous, boring, grindy thing that once you figure out a team, you can do it. Like, once again, going back to the old Gauntlet, my old team, it was literally the same 3 monsters, the same buttons, click, repeat, same thing, process. That's why I never made Infinite Gauntlet videos. They're boring. If, however, I was to try different teams, I probably wouldn't get as far, and it would take like a learning curve to figure out different team combinations that work. And realistically, a lot of the main teams revolve around bomb beta, so if you missed out on bomb beta, you're kind of out of luck. You'd have to figure out some techniques with newer monsters. So honestly, for the long-term players that have bomb beta, have Megaton monsters, this is a lot easier. My overall thoughts on this, again, given some time to think, is that for me personally, I would 100% prefer the old Infinite Gauntlet. I really thought SocialPoint was just gonna add more nodes or something like that. I didn't think they'd literally change all the nodes and make them more difficult. But one thing I was talking about to replying to some of the comments, because I was trying to read through all of your guys' comments to get your guys' thoughts, one thing I thought about is that if it is harder for everyone, in effect, it results in like a net zero change. And what I mean by that is, the example I gave when I was replying to a comment, it's like, let's suppose SocialPoint made it super easy to get level 10 runes. And realistically, with the book rewards, they kind of have. But let's say SocialPoint gave every single person level 10 runes, then we're all battling with level 10 runes. So in effect, that level 10 rune might as well have been a level 9 rune, level 8 rune, level 7 rune. Like, it makes no difference because everyone now has the same level of runes. So with this new hard Infinite Gauntlet, now everyone is getting less Stardust than before. So in effect, because we're all essentially suffering through this, there's almost like no net change. Now, yes, the argument is valid that spenders are still going to be able to progress through it, but I mean, that was honestly the same with the old Infinite Gauntlet. The old Infinite Gauntlet, if you had Shelly, there was like no excuse to not beat the Infinite Gauntlet every single day. With Shelly, it would have made things super easily. Even if you somehow lost Shelly, you bring back Bomb Beta and you're good to go. So yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of like, I'm also biased in that I don't like the Infinite Gauntlet, like I mentioned yesterday. The Infinite Gauntlet was just not for me. I don't like the grindy thing. I love Team Wars. Team Wars is the reason that I keep playing Monster Legends. I love the new monsters, how they get added. I love when I have to play stronger opponents. But in terms of like grindy dungeons, I don't like doing this. To me, I just find it boring. I don't like doing the repetitive task. It 100% was a great way to rank up your monsters. I don't deny that. I can't comment on what SocialPoint is going to do. I would imagine when they read all this backlash, because I think they don't work today. So tomorrow, when they start reading the backlash, maybe they'll make some change. Maybe they'll make it slightly easier. I imagine that would happen, or maybe people will just adapt. The cool thing about the community is you can learn how to adapt. You can fall back on the nodes if you need to and just get like 100 Stardust a day. You can find a way to work around through it. Eventually, if you playtest and practice, you can try new monsters. For the players that really do like this challenge, because it could potentially be a fun challenge, again, you can try out something new, it's actually hard, it's actually difficult, it actually keeps you entertained. Because yesterday, after I lost, I was like, man, I could have tried this, I could have done triple revival team. If I got OTK, they would have all came back, I could have trait disabled, I could have turned them into babies, then I could have applied dots, sunburn, all these different thoughts were going through my head, which made me actually play the Infinite Gauntlet and take it seriously, and then I was able to progress up to this node. So it's like I can definitely see myself, like, even now I'm thinking like, ooh, I can't wait till those 2 hours are up, and then I can try again, and what monsters am I going to try, what teams am I going to try? If I'm slower, maybe I put my monsters with life so they can get a turn in, maybe I put someone that can cleanse, what can I try? Like, I don't know, that's how my head is working right now, and I think that comes from all the time I was free to play, because I've only recently started spending, but all the time I was free to play, I was always going up against opponents that were fully ranked, high-level runes, and I'm like, how can I be slower and still win? So that's kind of the thought process I'm thinking for Node 41, although for the Infinite Gauntlet, I think it's as easy as just baiting and draining stamina, and then using your core team and beating. But again, like, a lot of this, what sucks is that if you don't have Bomb Beta, a Megaton monster, if you don't get Cryo Crawler, you're gonna have a tough time, right? So you should definitely get Cryo Crawler moving forward. If you don't have Tabora, I think things are really tough because she can remove positive effects and she can trait disable. And unfortunately, even that new monster we're getting, the Do, he doesn't remove positive effects and then AoE trait disable. He has a single positive effect removal, then an AoE trait disable, but against an Anticipation Cosmic on defense, for the Infinite Gauntlet, you're still going to run into some trouble. So Tabora really is like the queen of the Infinite Gauntlet. But my thoughts overall, like, it's a change. SocialPoint has made multiple changes that players agree with, don't agree with. So this change to the Infinite Gauntlet, like, at least the one thing you can say is it at least affects everyone, right? Yes, again, spenders will have the advantage, but they've always had the advantage. It's going to be harder to rank up our monsters, that's for sure, unless they do change it. I don't know, part of me doesn't care, honestly. I just have fun with the game. If the Infinite Gauntlet gets to the point where it takes way too long and it's taking me like 30 minutes just to get like 100 Stardust, I'm not going to do it. That's too much time invested for me personally. Everyone can do their own thing, but for me personally, I'm just going to stick with the Stardust dungeon, and I'm probably going to drop nodes if I find it too difficult. I do think I'm going to be able to get it to the point where I make it to node 45 or 46 using my core team, just because I think there was After you get past node 41, really, like the next 1, 2, 3, 4, the next, I think 4 were easy. Then 46 got a little tougher again, and now 48 is tough again. Here, let me click fight so you guys can see what's there and what the stats are on this monster. 33k, 16k, 19k, yeah, so this is another tough one. So if I can do like 10 minutes and get 150 Stardust, I think I'd be okay with that. For everyone out there, just try your best is what I can say, and let's just wait and see how things play out. Let's see, for all we know, we could be getting stronger relics. Maybe we'll be getting stronger monsters next year. Like, let's just kind of play things out. Maybe SocialPoint will change something because of all the feedback. But the only advice I can really give everyone is to not be upset. At the end of the day, it's a game. Maybe treat it like a game and be like, you know what, there's this challenging dungeon now. Let me see if I can beat it. And kind of go from there. And yeah, just don't take it too seriously. At the end of the day, it's a game. You should have fun with it. That's what the whole point of the game is. You shouldn't get frustrated. You shouldn't. If this makes you quit the game, I'm not gonna try to stop you. I'm not gonna try to say, hey, let's riot and everything. Just it's a game, guys. At the end of the day, it's a game. Have fun with it. It's Christmas. This is a terrible Christmas gift. I gotta admit, SocialPoint, what the heck are you doing? Worst time to do this. But at the end of the day, it's a game, guys. So just have fun with it. Again, I don't take the Infinite Gauntlet seriously. I've never taken it seriously. My love is in the Team Wars. Love the Team Wars. So I'm looking forward to having more Team Wars battles. Spirit Dogs, we're coming after you. So yeah, guys, that's really going to be it for this video. I was going to end up making a day 3, day 4, day 5 reaction, but I think I'm pretty decided in that, like, whatever happens, I'll adapt, we'll adapt, the community will adapt, we'll figure out a team, we'll figure out multiple teams, and we'll see what happens from there. So with that being said, guys, I'm Rommy Gaming. I am still really looking forward to reading your guys' comments, so please, any and all thoughts in the comments below, and I will try to respond to as many as possible. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts, because we all have different opinions. I would only ask that you guys be cordial with this, and not just, like, don't get so toxic with it. It's a game at the end of the day. That's all I really have to say. Guys, it's a game. So with that being said, remember to subscribe.